just always knew that I wanted to change the world and make a difference in it. And I think this is going to be my way that I can.
Brian and I met while in law school. We dated for about 7 years, and then on September 7th, 1996, we were married. On February 14th, Valentine's Day, we were told that Brian had glioblastoma multiforme and that he only had 3 months to live. On May 14th, 1997, Brian died. "12 years to the day after Brian had glioblastoma multiforme, Blakely had suffered a seizure in a basketball game. It was just remarkable to me when I saw Blakely's face, while obviously she was in the middle of having the seizure, I saw her father's face.
You talk about your worst nightmare coming true. I mean, you know, having gone through it once with her dad, then her being diagnosed, I mean, it was, you know,
with the technology we had at that time, our standard approach was an awake craniotomy. It took several hours, I think most of the day.
Almost immediately after the surgery, I saw a dramatic difference in her ability to organize herself. She had received a couple of poor grades. Blakely never got anything other than hundreds plus the bonus in anything that she did. And that continued for a good 1.75 years. You know, the biggest difficulty for Blakely was the fact that she was not able to play sports. I had never seen her so sad because she just was not doing the things that she had loved to do.
In January of 2013, I had the first time where my mouth actually moved, which was my version of seizures. And so that's when I knew that something had grown back or there was something there.
It was definitive that there was tumor regrowth.
In this presentation, the normal brain had really come over the tumor and there was a very small window.
I didn't have the reaction of being scared. I was just like, is this really happening, like now? It was a week to regionals for volleyball.
She said, you need to talk to Dr. Schneider about the recuperation period. There's no way that I'm going to be out of sports 5-6 months, so there's got to be something better. And that's when I learned about Nico and the BrainPath.
BrainPath allows you, because of its nature, to really, as atraumatically as possible, create a path to the tumor without destroying the overlying structures.
it absolutely made sense. You know, after hearing about it, seeing what they're doing, and just looking at the mapping and looking at it as a GPS system to avoid, you know, critical structures that would end up with a deficit of some kind. It's brilliant almost in its simplicity in some ways.
What we've experienced is that with the BrainPath, literally we can get to a tumor with an opening about the size of a dime. The BrainPath itself goes right through there, and then we're able to work right through that opening. You don't need much more than that to accomplish your goals.
The results were just unbelievable. Being out of the hospital in 23 hours, after a long night, I was walking around perfectly fine.
There's not many other words than to say is just amazing. She had recuperated in a dramatic fashion without any neurologic deficits. Once the minimal anesthesia had worn off, She was ready to go home probably within 5 to 6 hours after the operation. We observed her overnight and sent her home without a deficit, without any cognitive issues, no sensory issues. She was absolutely symptom-free and she had minimal discomfort. I don't think she even took a Tylenol. Her goal was to play volleyball that weekend, and I actually had given the okay.
There was drastic differences. The first time I was really weak, tired, in a fog for a couple days until I got out of the hospital. And the second time, a couple hours later after that night, I was walking around fine. I was at practice the next day watching my team, and I went to the tournament that weekend. It was like a ridiculous difference.
When she walked into my classroom, she looked as beautiful as ever, not a hair out of place. So quite frankly, I thought she postponed the surgery. I kept looking at Blakely, thinking, is she wearing a wig? Where's her scar? I was truly amazed. And then she continued to do her work, continued to have straight A's. Then I asked her after class one time, because she had asked me if she was all caught up, I said, Blakely, did you really have brain surgery? And she smiled and she said yes. And she even showed me the small scar to prove it.
I think the BrainPath is really going to become the state of the art eventually, and it's minimally invasive. It gives you a better outcome.
I don't know how I would have, ended up if it weren't for this, and I'm just so grateful. This new technology has made a million more things possible for everyone with brain tumors. I couldn't be more thankful or have hope for any better results from this.
I remember holding Blakely when she was a baby and, looking at her and saying, to myself, I can't believe there was not the technology that would buy us 3 months out there. Just 3 months so that her dad could hold her just once. To somebody like me, it means everything. I cannot be more thankful. It has not only saved the life of my child, but it's preserved the quality of her life, which means everything.